Now it's on there. You can share it. Lord be glorified. Just share from your heart the things that you want to share. And then let the Spirit of the Lord move the way the Lord wants to move through us. That's what I believe in. Well, good afternoon, all of you radio listeners out there in Radio Land. It is great to be. Oh, I'm just talking. I thought he gave me the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great afternoon, all of you radio listeners out there in Radio Land, and those of you that are listening and watching us via Facebook Live. We welcome you to another amazing talk show, the best talk show by Empowering Progressive Women's Association. Hello, I'm Kathy Amos. I'm president and founder of EPWA. And we are so excited about what we have in store for you today. So we want you to tune in for the next 30 minutes and get your pen and paper. We're going to empower you when it comes to communication and personal growth. And so today we have with us Miss Samanda Sawyer. She is president of Empowering Progressive Speakers Toastmasters Club, number 7200754. Miss Samanda is also the president of. She is managing consulting and business strategist for Motiva's Momentum Agency LLC. That's the managing consulting and business strategist for Motiva's Momentum Agency, LLC. We're going to hear more about what she's doing, and we're going to hear more about EPWA and the Empowering Progressive Speakers Toastmasters Club in a minute. But I want to give a shout out to our sponsor for this month. And y'all know who she is, Miss Annie Pearl Smith. We love Miss Annie Pearl. She is the president and the operating caregiver at Desmond and Puller Adult Daycare Center right here in Canton, Mississippi. She is located at 525 East Center Street right here in Canton. Desmond and Puller is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. until 5 o'clock p.m. Miss Annie gives some of the best lunches. She gives 3 meals a day, lunch, breakfast, and a snack. And she provides nursing assistant for anyone, care assistant for anyone that is there on her property in her facility. She also provides days out with our senior adults. So if you need senior adult care during the day, you would want to call Desmond and Puller Adult Daycare Center, located at 525 East Center Street right here in Canton, owned and operated by Miss Annie Pearl Smith, RN, BSN. If you want to give her a call, you want to call her at 601-859-7808. That number again is 601-859-7808. Okay, so let's move right on into our show. Samanda, welcome to the Best Talk Show by Empowering Progressive Women's Association.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're excited about you taking the task of starting a Toastmasters because we, as leaders in our community, we really need to learn effective speaking. We need to learn how to communicate, period. But I want you to share a little bit about it. I want to first just give the audience a little bit about who you are and what you do. I shared with you earlier that Samanda is the business strategist for Motiva's Momentum Agency. She is also a certified medical coder with over 15 combined years of experience in the areas of healthcare coding, consulting, auditing, small business marketing, municipal marketing, customer service, leadership, public speaking, and business coaching. She is also a devoted wife and a mom of, how old is she now?
She's 2.
She's 2 years old. And we say terrific too around here.
Yes.
We let the other people say what they say, but we declare that our children are terrific.
Yes.
So we are so excited. And I know that you're here today to share a little bit about, a topic that we kind of been back and forth about, and we're going to deal with that in just a second. Let me get to some announcements, though. We need to do our announcements. So on December, our next event is December the 29th. I did have an event scheduled for December 8th, but I'm going to push that event, Mind Your Own Business, to December 29th. For a lot of reasons, I need to push it to the 29th. So if you would go to Eventbrite today and this afternoon and tomorrow, you'll see that the event date has been changed to December 29th. For those of you that have been trying to get to a Mind Your Own Business mastery session, this is your special time. You want to jump in there, you want to get in there and start thinking forward. Next year, 2019 is going to bring an amazing year of change, transformation, but we know and we understand that transformation starts on the inside of us. It starts with us first. So we've got to think our way through a lot of things that we've been subconsciously been moving forward without thinking. We got to start thinking. We got to start thinking about our business. We got to start thinking about our ministry, thinking about the book we're going to write. We got to start thinking about what we're going to do for our children and how are we going to do what we do, all the things that are laid out, how we're going to manifest these great dreams that we have, these great visions that we have. So with that, I want to invite you to Mind Your Own Business on December the 29th. It's going to be at the Hilton Hotel in Jackson, Mississippi, and there is limited seating available for you. The limited seating is a seating of only 12, so you will have to get in there and really jump in there and get a seat at the table. And we're going to think our way through some amazing things. So, Samanda, we're ready now. I had the opportunity to get you in my space, and for those of you that don't know out there in Radio Land, and those of you that don't know on Facebook, this beautiful young lady is also related to me by my husband. So this is my husband's relative now, my relative, and I'm so happy to have her in my circle. So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, today I want to share with the audience 5 ways that effective communication can help someone who is interested in growing.
Okay. All right. So let's go. Okay. Number 1.
So number 1, one important factor that we all need to know is listening is a very key part of communicating.
Yes.
If most of us, we usually tend to want to speak, or we do a lot of speaking, but listening is more important than the speaking, because if you're in communication with someone, or if someone is in dialogue with you and you're going back and forth and there's information that you need to receive, or if there's information that needs to be shared, both parties need to be able to listen.
Right.
Because that will help you to know what needs to take place, as well as any other key information that needs to be, taken care of. So we tend to overlook how important listening really is when you're communicating with other people. So you definitely want to keep that in mind.
So Samanda, there are times when you run across a person every once in a while, and they are the one person that you go to because they're going to listen.
Yeah.
So if you all are out there and you're that person that everybody goes to you because you will sit there and you will listen, look, you're on to something really major.
That's right.
And I want to encourage you, before she goes on to her next point, to get a pen and a pad and start writing these notes down, because you're going to begin to identify yourself, and that perhaps you are probably one of those that have a voice to speak. So number 2 is what?
Number 2 is you want to know that effective communication helps you to share information and receive it. Well, share the knowledge that you're getting and receive it well from the person that is sharing it with you. A lot of times when we're communicating, we don't realize that the information that we are sharing, we never know how it's going to help the person who's on the receiving end, as well as if we're on the listening end and the person is standing in front of us, or they're sharing information, or even if they're not in front of us, and if they're on the telephone, or if they're even in a webinar, for those of you who are business owners or whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that you are taking advantage of your being an effective communicator. If there's an opportunity for you to ask questions, ask questions. That's a part of communicating. If there is an opportunity for you to just be quiet, and I can honestly tell you I have struggled with this because I'm a natural talker. So a lot of times I'm always waiting so that I can say what I need to say, but there are times that I know that I need to pump the brakes and just stop and listen, so that the information that whoever is trying to share with me, that information is received the way that I need to receive it, so that I can use it the way that I need to use it.
So you just made one good valid point, and a lot of times when one is up speaking, and there are people that are actually listening, they don't ask the questions. There's a law called the law of curiosity, which causes one to, there is no dumb question, there is no stupid question. The questions that are dumb or stupid are the ones that you don't ask. So you've got to be inquisitive, and you've got to be okay with opening up and just sharing your curiousness. Just an example, the other day when I was in the Kent Public School liaison meeting for churches, they were sharing reports about the ratings and the grade levels where our school is right now, and they were trying to communicate to us, what these graphs and these charts represented. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, Lord, I don't know. I don't understand these charts and these graphs. I don't know exactly. Well, if I had sit there and not asked, I probably would have gone home with a stack of stuff that I would have to sit over for a long period of time to try to understand myself. As opposed to that, I asked the questions. And it wasn't until I asked the questions where other people started opening up and asking questions too. So I just wanted to throw that out there because, a lot of times we kind of sit back and we don't ask the question, and we wish we had when we left. So thank you for bringing that point up.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, Kathy, because a lot of times when there's communication taking place, sometimes people don't have enough confidence, which goes into the next point that I'm going to share. Effective communication does help build your confidence. And whether you're in leadership in the church, whether you're in leadership on your job, even in your business as an entrepreneur, you have to have some level of confidence when you're standing up in front of people, and when you're delegating, and when you're giving out information, if you're wanting things to take place and things to be done. So you want to make sure that you are in a place where you can build your confidence, so that your communication skills will develop, as you're building that confidence. And that's very important. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as it relates to Toastmasters and how that can help you as well.
Yeah, confidence is key. And I still got the little statement that was ringing in my head earlier that I heard someone say, that, when you develop your confidence, you're trying to get like the world. I'm like, what in the world is that? I have never heard of such foolishness in all the days of my life. I mean, if we're not confident in who God has created us to be, how can we walk out his mission and his purpose?
Right.
When Jesus walked the face of this earth, he was confident that he was his father's son.
That's right.
And he was confident that he was called to this earth for a certain purpose. And he didn't need anybody to validate him on that. So why do we need to shrink ourselves down when we've been created for a purpose? But we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to go to another topic because I can get a little bit heated about that. So tell us, what else do you have for us?
And then the next one is effective communication helps to sharpen your ability to achieve goals. This is very important on a personal level, professional level, even spiritually. And I could go on and on about that, but it's so important that we sharpen our ability to achieve goals by using effective communication. Again, everything kind of ties in together, but it goes back to being able to convey the message that you want to convey to the people that are on your team, people that may be working with you in your ministry, if we're talking about ministry, people that are working on your team in your business, even in your family. It's so important for families to have effective communication in order for everything and everyone to be able to operate in unity and for things to actually be achieved and accomplished. So you definitely want to make sure that you see the opportunity to sharpen your ability to achieve goals in those areas.
So when you have a breakdown in your family, and you have a breakdown in your business with your team, more than likely it comes from lack of communication. More than likely it comes from the simple fact that somebody did not open their mouths and share something that was very important to the mission or the plan. And so we've got to understand that when we're working on teams, whether it's teams on at home and family, you got hubby, you got wife, you got the children, and there has to be a foundation of communication there, because if we don't know each other or we don't want to communicate, then something is going to go void. The same with building an empire, and I always say this, Habakkuk 2:2-3 says, write the vision and make it plain upon tablets so that those that will read it can run with it. That is communication right there. And so we've got to learn that communication is vital. And if we don't want to open up and communicate to the ones that are around us, to the ones that are significant to us, then we won't be able to fulfill the mission and the plans that God has created us to fulfill.
That's right. And I'm so glad that you shared that. One of the last points that I'm going to share is all of us have a story to tell.
Oh, yes.
We all have a story to tell. And in order for us to step out of our comfort zones and to share those unique stories, because I'm sure many of you, like myself, we have different stories to share and tell. We have to be able to be confident, as I mentioned. We have to be able to establish effective communication so that won't be a hindrance for us to get out there and share our stories with those with whom God is going to put us in the path to share our stories with. So any opportunity that you have to stop and work on your communication, take advantage of those opportunities. There is so much that can be done that can help in your families. There's so much that can be done to help in your workplace. There's so much that can be done to help even in the church if we all just strive to work on better communication skills. It does take work. I'm not going to, sit here and tell you that it's easy. It takes work, but it also has to take a willing heart, a person that's willing to be an effective communicator. And it's not anything that you can do overnight. It takes work. You have to be willing to put in the work. But more than anything, everything that I've shared is important, but listening is the number one thing for effective communication. You have to be willing to listen before you speak. And the Bible tells us about that, to be slow to speak and quick to hear. So we definitely want to keep that in mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to spark another point that you gave about communicating, we have got to be in a place where we're okay with sharing our story.
That's right.
When I say we're okay, and some of you, when we say story, if you're in the church, then you might say testimony.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's we're gonna make
That's
it
right.
real plain where you can really understand it. Some of us have testimonies, some of us have stories, but whichever one you choose to relate to, we want you to be able to share your story and understand that there are people that are attached to your story. There is, and when I say attached to your story, don't leave out people when you're sharing your story. Incorporate everybody that was a part of it, whether they're still in your life or not. It's very key that you pull those back in your circle just so that you can be able to share your story, your testimony more effectively. I have heard more testimonies being a pastor than most people here. But the thing about it, when we share our story, when we share our testimony, we share bits and pieces of it. You know, I'm going to share this part of it, but I'm not going to share this because me and this person here, we're not gelling like that anymore. No, share the whole story. Matter of fact, some of you out there need to put your stories in books.
That's right.
Some of you out there need to share your testimonies with other people in writings and documentaries and all of that good stuff. Why? Because it's so very important that that level of communication gets out there into the right hands and the right people, because the Bible declares that we are overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony or the word of our story. So let's get those stories going. That is one way that you are sure to open your mouth and communicate.
That's right.
And if you're confident in what God has brought you through and what he has caused you to walk in victory with, be willing to share it with someone else, because there's somebody out there that wants to hear it. Is there anything else you want to share about Toastmasters, our Empowering Progressive Speakers Club? Come on, let's hear what you got to share with us.
Well, I definitely want to say I definitely thank God for Empowering Progressive Women's Association and the opportunity that was given to me to even help to start the Empowering Progressive Speakers Toastmasters Club, because effective communication is an area that I have always had interest in, because I know as a professional, as an entrepreneur, and just an all-around person that seeks to be able to share my message with other people, I know that that's very important. But not only that, I've come into contact with a lot of other men and women like myself who tend to shy back from sharing their gifts because of fear of speaking in public, or just fear of sharing a lot of personal things. And so there is a resource, there is tools out there that can help those of you who are listening, those of you who are watching on Facebook. There's something out there that can help you in this area so that you're not being hindered, so that you're not being held back, and so that we're not allowing fear to keep us from sharing what God has given us to share. So I want to share with you about Empowering Progressive Speakers Toastmasters Club. Here it's located in Jackson, Mississippi area, and we just started this month.
Right.
And we are recruiting for new members to join us. We had our first meeting on last Saturday, and it was definitely a success. But we are looking for more people who are ready to overcome their fear, because we know that fear is false evidence appearing real. And we want you to come in and join the rest of us who are overcoming our fear, and we're stepping out of our comfort zones to become more effective communicators and more competent communicators. And you can find out more about our Toastmasters Club by emailing Toastmasters@Sawyer@gmail.com, or you can give me a call at 601-791-7100, and I will be glad to share more information with you. We are accepting applications for new members, and we would love for you to come, and we will do this together. We're going to overcome this together. And some of the benefits of being a Toastmaster is, as I mentioned, is to sharpen your speaking skills. I have known people who have become a Toastmaster and they've gotten promotions on their jobs because they've been able to get up and provide better presentations on their jobs. And even in their business, if you're an entrepreneur, you can get up and share your elevator pitch with people more confident, with more confidence.
Right.
And that's so important, because if you're struggling with sharing with people what you do, they're not going to understand, number one. And so they're not going to really take you seriously with what you're doing if you're not confident in what you're doing. So this is a great way for you to overcome those obstacles and get in front of the people that you need to get in front of to accomplish the goals that you desire to accomplish.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the next meeting is when?
Our next meeting actually is going to be scheduled. We're going to do it's going to be a workshop, but it's going to be virtual, and that's going to be on Tuesday, November the 27th. And again, if you give me a call or email me at toastmasters@sawyer@gmail.com, I can give you more information about that. Also, we will officially start our club meetings in January, because it's going to be a start of a new year. So we will officially start our meetings, and our meetings will be held on every second and fourth Tuesday in Jackson. The meeting will be at Piccadilly's off of I-55 Frontage Road. And the meetings are only 1 hour, because as a Toastmasters, we do believe in time management, and that 1 hour is going to be one of the best moments of your life when you're coming to these meetings, because you're going to get to see how important it is to say what you need to say and not take a whole lot of time to say it. And it's very fun. It's not a tense situation. I just really hope that you all will consider coming out, if you're in this area, to come out and experience a Toastmasters meeting and see how it can really help you.
That's good. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I want to remind everybody out there that the Ladies of Canton Kingdom Conference is coming up January the 18th and 19th. And Samanda's going to be back with us there. She's going to be emceeing the whole event. But God has been stirring my spirit, and I have to share this. He has been stirring my spirit about the women in Canton, Mississippi. And I'm telling you, there is something that is about to break out in Canton with the women of Canton that has never occurred before. If you want to be a part of this, you would want to get with one of our glam girls who's hosting this, of Empowering Progressive Women's Association, or just go to Eventbrite and get on Eventbrite and get a ticket. Tickets are $20, 2-day event. Friday, January 18th and 19th, Friday morning, 10 o'clock to 12 noon, and then Friday night. And again, that Saturday morning, we're going to pray, and we're going to learn about the power of prayer, and we're going to come together, and we're going to bombard the city of Canton, women like never before. Lock arms with us and be a part of this amazing event. January 28th, January 18th and 19th. Are those dates, and we'll come to you with our speakers on our next talk show, which happens to be the first and third Sunday in December. Join us. Get your tickets. Go to www.epwanetwork.org and subscribe, so that you will be able to get all of the updates that we're sharing with you on a consistent basis. We want you to be a part of what we're doing. We are a network of women, Christian women, and we do have men that are part of this association that are girding us, supporting us, and rooting us on. And we are mobilizing the state of Mississippi to join together in a network of Christian women that don't mind celebrating one another. We had our last Magnificent Monday night event of the year just a couple of weeks ago, and we had a full house. Our next one is going to be perhaps in February, because we have the LOCK conference in January. We're probably going to have our next Magnificent Monday night in February. You all don't want to miss what God is doing through EPWA. If you are an entrepreneur and you are a woman of God and you love the Lord, but you want to grow your empire with women and men that are connecting together to advance the kingdom, you want to be a part of this. Look, epwanetwork.org is our website. Everything that you need, including the Toastmasters, is there. So if you can't find it anywhere else, if you don't remember Toastmasters Sawyer at gmail.com, if you don't remember the number, remember epwanetwork.org, and you will be able to access all of the information. That's all we have for now. We're going to go. We thank you so much for joining us on the Best Talk Show, and we look forward to seeing you and hearing from you again come December the 1st and 3rd Sunday at 3 o'clock p.m. Goodbye for now.